Hello, hello, welcome, gnommis and
Bug.
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 Alright. Think we should transition, or already have transitioned actually. So, gnommis, take it away.
This is Bug Fables. I don't know. Calc?
Yes, this is Bug Fables the Everlasting Sapling. I will be commenting, and Namus will be running. This is a nice indie game that was made, and it's very inspired by the original Paper Mario as well as Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, and sort of has some elements similar to that, as well as elements that are unique to itself. And yeah, the run is full of a lot of cool tricks and glitches, and we hope you enjoy.
So, starts in 3, 2, 1. So, the first glitch is actually about a minute in, despite the introduction being about 2 minutes long.
Yes. I mean, if you can even call it a glitch. But right now we're learning some of the lore about the land of Bagaria, which is where Bug Fables takes place. And there's an Ant Queen who wants to get the treasure of the Everlasting Sapling, and we don't actually meet the Queen until a bit later. Right now we're introduced to 2 of our main characters, Kabu the Beetle and V the Bee. And we're also going to be introduced to our tutorial fight up against Maki the Mantis.
Is that what she is?
And this...
That just skips
Yeah,
skips a text box for some reason.
Yeah, using the Crunchy Leaf on turn 2, you see the text box sort of appears quickly and then immediately disappears afterwards. And that was actually found relatively recently. But yeah, we need to prove to Maki that we're willing to go explore and find the artifacts for the Everlasting Sapling to help the Queen out. And to prove this, we're going to fail every single attack. Well, except for that one. That one we're going to succeed because, you know, why not, I guess.
I messed up the mashing.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if you fail or succeed. Failing is faster. But
Except
for that,
if it's
you
a
basically just mash.
very quick V attack, I think it's slightly faster to not fail. But
That's possible.
It also doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And thus begins Chapter 1, where we are told that there is a dysfunctional trio, the game spoiling itself. These are not our only 2 characters. And right off the bat, we're going to go grab Hard Mode, which, as the name suggests, makes the bosses and the combat in this game harder by increasing enemies' HP as well as their attack damage.
Sometimes...
Which sounds sort of counterintuitive, but it'll be used later on for a specific fight in Chapter 2.
It also sometimes decreases their HP, but gives them defense.
Yes, and that is the exploit that will be used to make it actually worth using. But for now, we're just going to grab it and not equip it. So here we're just walking through and avoiding all these seedlings. The seedlings that have, like, the exclamation marks means they notice you. And they're sort of similar to the tutorial fight. If you go into them, you end up in a turn-based battle. However, that's slow, and we want to avoid that for the most part. There are some optional fights we'll do.
No?
For... Oh, do we not have those anymore?
Or, no, there's the one. There's the Chomper in Hills.
Okay. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. And
There's
it's
exactly
to sort
one.
of make the... Yeah, only one. And it's to make the EXP level out. And here we're introduced to the first main dungeon of the game, Snakemouth Den, which no explorer has ever escaped from alive.
It's very scary.
Oh yes. So naturally, to prove how strong we are, we're going to take it on as our first thing in this game.
Also, you skip a cutscene trigger by jumping around that stake.
Yes. The cutscene trigger basically teaches you how to use the boomerang, however, we already have the ability. Before, on older versions of the game, you had to trigger that, or else you wouldn't be able to throw the boomerang, but now you have to do it. But now you don't have to do it, sorry.
And
Because you already have the ability.
I actually got it for once.
What, the ability jump?
The ability jump and the 2-hit.
Yo. Sorry, it's delayed for me.
I forgot to start the Discord stream.
If you do that now, that would be appreciated.
Yeah.
But yes, an ability jump is something that is usually utilized in other categories more, but it still has a lot of use in this category, any percent. And it's basically where you can use an ability and jump, and it allows you to sort of use the ability in mid-air, which is very useful in some spots, which we'll bring up later when we get to there. And also something I've sort of brushed over, but never really talked about, is we're already seeing, and have been seeing for the past 5 minutes, one of the biggest techs of this game and advantages this RPG has in particular over a lot of other speed games, and that is text. For this game, you can just hold B, and it skips through the text the fastest way possible. And it's super convenient instead of needing to mash.
Unless you're on the older version of the game, in which case it only does that kinda.
Correct. Yeah, the text boxes actually have an interesting history. It wasn't always like it, where holding B was faster. And in some versions it was faster to hold for some spots, but other parts it was faster to mash. But thankfully now, holding B is faster for everything.
So
and now
here
we're
we just
introduced to Spider.
we just do nothing because we can't do anything.
Yeah. If we try to attack, we can, but Spider is meant to be unbeatable.
I believe
this
he has
point in the game.
999 HP and 99 defense.
Yeah, and that's a little bit more than we can handle. So we just do nothing a bunch. But V comes back and saves us.
And now,
And we're
for
given
some reason,
The opportunity to rematch.
but we don't actually, we still can't beat him, so we just have to
Yeah.
get this moth and run away.
Yeah, we find the moth, and we need to save him. Despite not being able to attack Spider, we can attack the web that's keeping the moth captive. And we're thankfully barely able to get away, due to the spider being too large. And he can't fit through.
He's just too fat.
Yeah, he's quite mad because we stole his dinner, which is this moth, who will actually end up being our third party member, and honestly, in this category, probably the most broken.
Oh, definitely. Although, honestly, I'm not entirely sure how Leaf ended up as his dinner now and not 100 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe he was waiting.
Maybe.
Waiting to have a good feast. Because the moth has been trapped there for... We aren't actually sure how long.
Longer
He seems very
than...
confused.
Longer than most bugs live. There's, I think, one bug in the game who actually recognizes him.
Yeah, I believe there's only one.
It's just Rebecca.
And right there with the switch, we saw a pretty neat strat where he threw it, hit it, and then fell in the water at the same time as the platform was rising, which allowed him to skip the cutscene of the fade out to black, which normally happens when you fall out of bounds. Or, sorry, into a hazard, not out of bounds. But as it turns out, this moth, also known as Leaf, actually has ice magic. And we're going to use that to make quick work of these enemies known as jelly shrooms.
Who, for some reason, I call Nichis every once in a while, but that's the snail guys.
Yeah, Nichises are different enemies, which we'll also see later.
We will see, I believe, exactly one of them.
In a fight, yes. And in the overworld, there's one right there.
I think since I have V in front here, it's actually faster to get the roach statue.
Oh, right.
I forgot
about that small route change.
I forgot to switch to Leaf here.
Yeah, that's fine, though.
I'm actually not sure if it saves any time at all because of the cycles.
I think it would at least save, like, one cycle. But yeah, we need to talk to that roach statue to get a discovery. And there's an alternative discovery which is, like, theorized to be faster. But we're gonna need them to get berries later
I'll get it.
And now we're introduced to the first major glitch of the run. So you know how I was talking about how Leaf was very broken? This is not only in combat with Icefall, which is a pretty strong AoE move, but also in the overworld. He's able to turn enemies into platforms, which you can stand on
and that is why I got the
used to push out of walls.
That is why I got the checkpoint.
Yes. So he's going to create a tiny gap between this wall and the enemy itself. And this gap will allow him to be pushed inside the wall without, like, completely falling out of bounds. Oh, that's a yikes. Luckily, we can flee from battles pretty easily, but that will cost a few berries. But thankfully, there is a backup for it. And yeah, once you're pushed out, you have, like, a few frame window to start jumping. That looks good, yeah.
Now it's too far left. There we go.
Nice.
Really?
Dang. Yeah, for whatever reason, there's like an invisible wall here, which wasn't always there. It was something added in like version updates, which is pretty obnoxious. But yeah, that's the gist of it, and this is used to skip both the left side and right side of this dungeon. Nice. And overall, it saves about 2 minutes, I'd say. Maybe a little.
I'm pretty sure, despite that taking quite a while, that still saved time.
I believe so, yes. Still saved time overall.
That lost about a minute to a fast one.
Yeah. And that's still less time than it would take to do the normal strat. So yeah, still saves time overall.
Also, you can't hold B for this text box. For reasons.
Yeah. But there we have our first artifact, which we can now use and retrieve to the queen, except we've got ourselves a little problem. The trap is triggered, and here comes the spider fight, yet again.
Yeah, this is a fight. Except this time, apparently we've gotten stronger, despite not leveling up, so now we can damage him.
Yeah. We learned a lot from that single battle we did against the jelly shrooms, apparently. Enough to pierce through 99 defense.
But only for this fight.
Yes.
Either that or everybody just has 99 plus whatever defense.
Plus whatever it is, yeah. Anything's possible with the lore.
Oh, also, do you want to explain double mashing?
Oh, yeah. So this game has quite a few different versions. It initially came out on PC on Steam, and there's also been console versions as well on Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. However, the fastest version is the PC version for a few reasons. The main one is loads, but another subtle one is double mashing. And what that is, we'll see an example right here, actually. You'll notice that the bar... Oh, yikes. You'll notice that the bar swapped from A to C. And the A is the button prompt on controller. And C is that same button prompt on keyboard. So you can effectively mash twice with only, like, at the same time on the separate controllers, if you count the keyboard being one of those controllers. And this gets utilized a fair amount, both in battles as well as for some ice clips, because sometimes you need to go really high up, and the fastest way to do so is just mash jump, so you can double mash that.
I accidentally hit attack with V, so the entire fight is messed up now. Luckily, this fight isn't very bad, so...
Yeah, there's, like, not really a risk of dying, but it will be a bit slow. Overall, it doesn't matter too much.
Tornado toss. I have no idea how much health this thing has left.
Next turn should do it, I think.
There we go.
Nice. And yeah, that concludes Chapter 1. And Chapter 2, and honestly, all the chapters after Chapter 1 are when it starts getting really broken.
Yeah,
Chapter 1 is mostly the tutorial.
This is pretty normal. The only real big thing that you do in Chapter 1 is Snake Mouth skip.
Yeah. Like, most of it is just like the tutorial where you learn the mechanics. But Chapter 2 is when things start getting pretty crazy. Yeah, Jank, it is 34. If you actually get good freezes with Leaf's Icefall, you are able to beat Spider in 5 turns. Normally it's a 6 turn, though, but that may have actually been a 7 turn.
I think it was 7, yeah.
Mishap.
Also, you can't hold B for save menus either.
Yeah, that's another case where in text you need to actually, like, press something. You can't just simply hold B.
And here, it's really weird because you have to press B as soon as you hit the trigger.
Yeah.
Because you can't hold B from a previous cutscene, and the trigger immediately causes some text. But...
yeah, you also noticed that earlier he cut down a bush with Kabu and grabbed a spicy berry. And that's an item that'll get used a fair amount in this run. And it simply raises your attack by 1.
For 2 turns.
For 2 turns, yes. Which, in and of itself, is already pretty useful. But there are some attacks that are multi-hit moves, which sort of do, like, several hits of damage in one attack. And the attack buff actually applies to all of them, with a few restraints. But for the most part, if you use a Spicy Berry with one of these attacks, more likely than not, you're going to end up doing more than just 1 extra damage.
The places where that wouldn't work are when you're doing little enough damage that it just rounds up, or if you're fighting a golden seedling because all the damage gets rounded down, like mod 10 or something.
Well, hopefully
or no, it gets just divided by 10.
Hopefully we won't see a golden seedling here. There's a chance.
Don't believe there's... No, there's the one acornling.
Yeah, that has a 1% chance of being golden. It's sort of similar to, like, Amazy Daisies in Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
Where sometimes I forget the name of them, but, like, the normal flowers can be golden. It's sort of similar to that in this game.
This
which
part,
we really don't want to see. 'Cause
yeah.
That completely throws off the EXP.
And then here we have to get 2 more discoveries by looking at these windows.
Yes, and then these will be the final manual discoveries we're gonna need throughout the whole run. And this is just
The final
so we can get
discoveries in
20
general. We
berries
don't
right
we don't
here.
ever come back here.
Well, we come back to the palace for the cutscenes. Like, that's it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So here
But the
we
library,
turn in the
specifically,
discoveries.
this area. Yeah, we're gonna turn them in, and we have 5 total.
That
Talk to it again, yeah. We have 5 total, 1 from the statue, 2 from the paintings, and then 2 automatic ones. And that gets us 20 berries, which we're going to use to buy more spicy berries, as well as a few burly berries, which,
and
similar to
2
spicy
hard
berries,
seeds.
raise defense. Correct, and 2 hard seeds. There are quite a few things we need to stock up on.
Pet Peeboo was met, right? 'Cause we're near him now.
Yo?
Let me double check to be sure.
I mean, we
it
go
has
past
been
him.
met, yes.
We go past him like 30 times.
Yeah.
Yes, Pet People has been met.
I will pet
Hey,
him
there's
every time we
Peeboo.
go in the room. I missed one, but whatever.
I also
Alright,
have
at the
a couple
start.
donations if there's time.
Yeah, this is mostly just a bunch of cutscenes.
Alright, perfect. We have a $100 donation from Spirialis.
I love
think I've heard that name
Spirialis.
before. Yeah. And because of that, we are only $62, $63 away from upgrading Mad Rat Dead to hard mode, which sounds really interesting, which would happen right after this run. So there's still some time left. And there's also a $5 anonymous donation just saying a rat jam.
Yeah.
So
And
now
we
we're
get
making our way to
6
another...
berries in Golden Path.
Yes, we'll need to farm for some berries, which isn't a huge deal. But this right here allows us to skip another cutscene. Sort of similar to Snake Mouth Skip.
Snake Mouth Skip is usually a lot easier. It didn't work today, but it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Nice, nice. That was fast. Also, I'd like to answer that question. Can you not speed up cooking on this version? You can speed it up, and we're actually going to do some cooking once we make it to Festival, which will be in like a minute or so.
You can't speed up the very
for the
first
first
cook one. Yeah, I don't.
Yes.
It's just
For the first one, you can't speed it up. Which is a little bit weird, but it sort of makes sense because it's like a tutorial, mostly.
this is how you cook. Or something, I don't know. Oh, this is the room.
Yeah.
In this room,
more
for
with that-
some reason, all of the bushes have 1 or 2 berries.
Yeah, it's very convenient if you're a few short. Which happens with random encounters because you lose berries every time you flee. But yeah, the lore with the cooking is just
That should be-
Leaf has been trapped there for who knows how long as previously mentioned. And in turn, he's pretty dang hungry.
Can I get this one?
That looks good, I think.
That's
Nice.
good. That saves, like, 1 second.
Yeah. Normally you have to spin those cranks twice, but with that, don't have to worry.
And respawn.
That looks good.
That should be... Yep.
Nice. And they're similar, well, sort of similar to the switch hit earlier in Snake Mouth, where you fall in and you get teleported somewhere back. This helps you so you don't have to climb up the stairs after you do that. And it also saves about a second, maybe 2.
So, here we're going to be doing the festival.
Yeah, and this is sort of probably one of the last, like, slow areas in the run. Beyond this point, it starts speeding up a lot more. Right now, we need to do a bit of preparation for the rest of Chapter 2, and buy 2 hard seeds.
Not only the rest of Chapter 2, actually the rest of everything up until Chapter 5, I believe.
Oh, like, in terms of buying things?
We don't go buy or cook anything until... wait, no, cook 2. I have to make sure I do this right, because my last run died to this. Hard early.
Wait, did you save?
I saved at Spider, and I think that's the last one.
Oh boy. Well,
Luckily,
thankfully that went well. But yeah, if you mess up one of these things, it's a nightmare to back up.
yeah. Luckily, the rest of this section shouldn't be bad up until Golden Hills. So
Yeah.
and that I saved there anyway. Because you level up, and if you level up the wrong thing, the run is dead.
Yeah.
I believe V up front here. You have to talk to her to start this. And then... it's the mashing game, where apparently I'm a lot better than Calc.
Yeah. This minigame utilizes double mashing. Because
Wait for
all
it.
it is literally just a mashing contest.
That was pretty bad, honestly.
Well, I mean... for me, that would have been pretty okay. But yeah. For your mashing, it ain't great. But yeah, now that we've done that, we get the sun offering. Or the moon offering. I forget what one. We get one of the offerings.
You get the left offering first. So that's the sun offering.
That's the sun offering. My first guess was right. Let's go.
And now we have to hit worms. So if there's donations, this would be a good time.
Yes. Yeah, we only need 15 of these worms. Which is very lenient with the amount of time that we have overall. I'm pretty sure... I haven't actually seen it myself, but I heard that the record for the highest amount of worms hit here was 54.
I've seen
really
Nacho got a
insane.
48, I think. That's the highest I've seen.
I'm pretty sure my best is like 41 or something.
My best is 34, but I also don't play it, so...
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'm like in the mood to play it during runs, other times it's just like... use the time, use like the half minute or so. Just for like a little break.
It is, I believe, the only place in the run where there's a decently long section of time without text boxes that you have to hold B during.
Yeah.
So it's the only point when you can really, like, Alt-Tab and do something else for a bit. If you need to do something or whatever.
Yeah. But now we are given upgraded hold for our Beamerang, which is another incredibly useful ability. And it allows it so once we throw the Beamerang, we're able to hold it in place, which allows us to do things to just spinning cranks, which is sort of a common gimmick in Golden Hills. And it can also be used to, like, stun enemies if you want to just hold them in place, which isn't really used in the run. You can just keep them spinning in midair.
And it also gives you a new ability which is used in this fight.
Yes, we got Hurricane Toss. Which isn't used too much in this run, but in other categories it's incredibly broken. It's similar to V's Tornado Toss, which we saw
quite a
in
bit,
Spider.
actually.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
guess I saw V go in B33.
Spicy. I need to block this, or have it hit Kabu. Or that works too.
Or defense up, that's honestly good. Yeah, just double hurricane.
Yep. So this is Hurricane Toss.
That's not how physics work! Yeah.
Leaf
It
actually
makes, like, a
says that's not how physics
proclamation.
works.
Yeah, when you get the Beamerang hold ability.
That's not bad.
By the way, the dialogue in this game is amazing.
True.
There's so many, like, great comedy moments in here. As well as just an overall really well-written story. And you can definitely tell, like, with how much dialogue there is in the game, as well as optional conversations, the devs definitely went the extra mile with it. Yeah, save there. This is the part where leveling up happens.
So yeah, the next fight, you level up, and if you level up wrong, yeah.
Yeah, similar
you
to
need
Cookie,
every
you
level
can't
up
take
until
back
the very
level
end of the
ups.
game.
And this is also the one and only optional fight that we do. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you can do that. It saves literally 0 time.
It looks cool though. But yeah, we're gonna fight these for extra EXP.
What is this Icefall cursor positioning?
Very bad. That would be my definition of it.
Yeah.
There's some randomness with the Icefall cursor. You sort of have to, like, react to it when it's in the right spawn. Sometimes it starts in different locations.
I have to press A once and then hit right. For some reason, that right input just gets eaten.
Yeah, there's, like, a bit of delay where you aren't able to, like, input anything after the first...
Oh, this is the first lag clip.
Xbox. Yes.
I'm leaving too low, actually.
Yeah, maybe go down a bit.
There we go.
Nice. That probably, like, broke even, I'd say.
Well, not with what I do with that. I don't know how to do it normally.
Well, there you go. I guess that would be another factor. But yeah, pretty much how that works is you hold B and press print screen on the computer, which causes the computer itself to, like, cause a bit of lag. And that'll be
that is
used
another reason why
later on
PC
as
is
well.
fast.
Yes.
Although you can do it with the home button on Switch too.
And here we have one of, if not the most infamous room in Golden Hills. And
I am
honestly,
not
maybe
doing
in
it.
the whole game.
I am not
There's
going
this-
for Leaf Strat.
Yeah. There's this strat here called Leaf Strat, which saves approximately 16 seconds if you do it really well. Although realistically, it's more like 12 if you play it safer. And it pretty much has you avoid all these respawn triggers by using creative ways of, like, hopping through them. And it has a few really tight
Yay.
freezes with seedlings where you freeze them in midair. It's a really flashy strat, but also absurdly difficult.
I mean, it's not difficult enough that nobody does it.
Yeah.
People do it, but there are things that, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
That... I don't know.
It's also one of those strats where if you fail it and are going for the more risky 16 second save variation, you lose a ton of time if you mess it up. The 12-second variation isn't as bad if you fail, but it still does lose quite a bit.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how that worked.
I'd be lying if I said I did. That strat is incredibly inconsistent on this
That
version.
also, somehow I jumped out of bounds and back into the seam.
Yeah, but not back inbounds.
I've
was
never
pretty
seen
weird.
that happen before.
No soft lock, let's go.
I'm still not convinced the soft lock actually exists. This is just Icefall 3 times.
Yes. Yeah, right there, for whatever reason, if Bobby falls in a weird spot during that cutscene, you end up soft locking. Before, you used to only lose 5 seconds because he would just, like, teleport back to you eventually. But they sort of changed respawn triggers, and as a side effect, it caused that to happen.
Yeah, so there's a soft lock there that only happens on the most recent version of the game. Because they added it in.
Yeah, it never happened before. It was sort of an oversight, I think.
I think it was very definitely an oversight, in fact.
Yeah, unless they woke up one day and were like, let's make the game soft lock in this spot. Which I have my doubts on happening. But yeah, now's the end of the dungeon.
If you can even call this a dungeon.
What?
True. Oh, dang. Oh my goodness. You're getting, like, on the outside of that.
I keep forgetting to release B. I jumped. What is...
The game says otherwise. But yeah, this strat saves a bit where you go on one side of the railing and keep it spinning so that way it carries you to the other side instead of you needing to walk all the way there. Probably saves only like a second or maybe even a little less. But it does look cool.
I will equip that.
That's probably a good idea, yeah. Also, hitting that crystal is vital because it heals both HP and TP to max.
And you need TP for this fight, and you have exactly, I believe, 1 before that?
Yes, after the 3 ice falls on the
front.
Venus Buds.
Wait, no,
Tornado.
Yeah, I have it up, I just
Malthiva.
hadn't scrolled down.
I see, yeah. Yeah, there's some categories where this fight is actually done on hard mode. And the fights are incredibly different, so it can be easy to forget which is which.
Wow.
That probably won't matter much.
Yeah, it just probably turns it into a 7-turn.
No, it should be fine, assuming no one dies.
That's the thing.
Just tornado attack, Malthiva.
This is honestly the fight I know the least.
Yeah. After the first 2 turns, it's just attacking a bunch, though.
Yeah.
We do barely enough to kill Malthiva, and Zas buffs himself every time you do a hit on Malthiva, which can cause this fight to become very scary, especially because at the end he has an infinite attack buff, which means his attack increases by 1.
Luckily, it does not mean his attack increases by. Luckily, it does not mean his attack increases by infinity, which is what I thought that meant when I first saw it.
I'd be lying if I said that's not what I thought. I also thought it was like infinity attack.
That's not good.
I think unless someone dies here, I think next turn I'll do it. I'm pretty sure. Oh, dang. Will this do it? I don't think so. I think it's 1 short. Ouch. Yeah, he can definitely hit pretty hard, especially after, like, quite a few turns.
Retry. Luckily, you can retry story fights.
Correct. Anytime a fight is scripted, such as this boss battle, you can immediately retry.
Well, not scripted, but required for story progression.
Yes. You can immediately retry it and get back the same health you had before. As well as the items that were used, although this fight doesn't use items.
That's the worst attack in other categories, and probably the best attack in this one.
Yeah. A lot of the AoEs in this game are naturally just, like, stronger than they should be for it being balanced.
Especially B33.
Yeah.
I think it's probably better to have V in front of this. No, it wouldn't have mattered.
I don't think it matters. Although V is...
That's why I had her in the back.
Kind of low.
Yeah.
Jeez, he's relentless. By the way, there is an attack he can do where he taunts, and that's the best to get in this category. Because he does no damage.
What?
Oh, jeez. Peril strats. Hey, it works.
He usually does 3 for that attack. I don't know why he only did 2 that time.
Oh, like the number of needles he throws?
Yeah,
it's random.
he usually throws 3.
It's random how many he does.
No. Second try, which isn't horrible.
Yeah. But now we have another fight, which is
this
probably
next
even
fight is the
scarier
hard
than
one.
that one. Yeah. Quite literally the hard one, because this is our one instance. This is our
That's
only
true, yeah.
reason we even grabbed hard mode.
Yeah, I'll look at it now, actually, because... It has, in Chapter 2, an attack that does 5 damage AoE.
Yeah.
And then right here, if I can get this...
Yeah, we have another ice clip here. This one doesn't
Nope.
save as much as Wasp Trooper or Snake Mouth. Oh, that positioning is unfortunate.
You can't recover it from there. Well, you have to wait for it to unfreeze, which I just didn't think
Yeah, I
about.
just have it walk. Yeah, reloading. Reloading that makes sense.
That
That
looks
looks good.
Yep.
Alright, cool. I'd say maybe like a little more to the right, but that works. And yeah, that's another reason why double mashing is good. You can just go up there incredibly fast.
What?
Freezing behind the switch. Classic hitboxes. And yeah, now we put in the corresponding offerings and are now able to see Venus herself.
Yeah, it's unclear what exactly Venus is.
Alright, no soft lock. This is yet another spot where you can soft lock, which is probably more rare than the other one where it would happen, but it still is possible.
Yeah. I don't think it's a thing. But, yeah, here is the second boss of the run. First hard one. Spicy Kabu.
Yeah, I'll try to explain, like, how we take advantage of the enemy having defense as it happens.
Okay.
Because for hard mode, the HP of this enemy drops, and his attack increases, and he gets 1 point of defense. That attack on Leaf could be scary, but hopefully it won't matter.
There we go. That's what's supposed to happen.
Oh, attack up.
That's scary.
This could be unwinnable, depending. So yeah, now we're going to use a Spicy on V to raise her attack and a Burly Berry to decrease Vigu's defense.
And then another Hurricane Toss.
Yes, and Hurricane pierces defense.
Even
but
if
the defense was already lowered. So the result is we do 1 extra point of damage. Oh, nice, nice. Okay.
This works now, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, just Hurricane, Tornado.
Oh yeah, Hurricane Tornado. I thought it was double Hurricane for some reason.
Yeah, we don't have the TP.
So that does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, you can say that again. We do 17 damage with that. Despite normally Hurricane Toss only doing 5. But thanks to the Spicy buff, and the defense down, and the Pierce, it ends up becoming 17. Not to mention there's another weird bug where when the enemy is in the air, it also takes an extra hit for some reason.
Oh, is that why it is?
Yeah, that's why the damage goes 5-5-4-3 instead of 5-4-3-2, which it would have done if it were on the ground, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that. Also, Calc, that was a gold by a minute on Vigu.
Hey, not bad. Small time save. But yeah, that fight actually was really scary. That was just those were just incredible blocks.
Also,
because
incredible
if
luck.
he dies on any turn, the fight is basically over.
I was also very lucky with the attack it did on turn 3. I believe that was the only one that would have worked.
You could have gotten a few other attacks.
That's the only one
Like,
that would have worked for me. I can't block any of the other ones.
Well, then that's a different story.
Here's another lag clip. That is... Why does that happen?
Maybe stand a little further back.
There we go.
Alright, cool. Yeah, normally...
I didn't get clipped
that
through the
pushed
door.
you all the way out. Normally, you're supposed to go back to the queen at this point and give back the offering, but we have other plans. And we're gonna go all the way to Lost Sands, which is where Chapter 3 is located. And normally you can't hit that switch until you actually are in Lost Sands through the normal way. But thanks to the light clip, we're gonna actually go through here in the reverse order. Which actually has its ups and downs, because for the one part, you get to skip all the cutscenes as well as...
You actually don't. You have to do the cutscenes later.
Well, you get to skip some of them, like, where you need to save Jen and Ari and whatnot.
Right, but
And you also get to skip the bandits fight.
Right, but you also do skip getting dash, which means you can't dash.
Yeah. That's the downside, which is actually one of the many... Which is probably one of the largest updates they added to this game, being able to have infinite dash. But we unfortunately need to skip that. That's the price you pay for doing Lost Sands early, right there.
It's actually, that's the price you pay for going to the hive early, I believe, is what causes the trigger not be there anymore.
Oh, yes, yes.
But, yeah. Leaf is now being dissected.
Yeah, we need to go through some scanning. And they found something interesting with Leaf. And now I need to dissect him. However, Leaf is not fond of the idea. And is able to avoid doing that.
So now he can shield himself? Because... trauma or something? I don't know.
Yeah. He's able to control his ability, and that'll be used later on in the main dungeon of Chapter 3. Which this sort of is Chapter 3. It's in a weird state because we never actually started Chapter 3. But we're gonna start Chapter 3 later. Which sounds confusing, but it'll make sense once we
I
get
believe
there.
we actually do Chapter 4 before Chapter 3. Or, no, Chapter 5 and then Chapter 3. And Chapter 5 is about, like, 3 seconds long.
Yeah. Yeah, the ordering is pretty weird.
I mean, it's like... Chapter 5 is exactly 1 cutscene long in this run.
Do we have time to mention something real quick?
Sure.
We have roughly 50 minutes left to meet the Mad Red Dead upgrade to hard mode incentive. Currently, we're only $58 away. So if you want to see that hard mode right after Buck Fables, you better start getting some donations in. And of course, I also see a $5 donation from Chuckles W73 that just says Bergie.
Bergie. So, now we're talking to the queen bee, who apparently these bugs don't actually know how bees work because they're surprised that the queen bee is V's mother.
Yes. And V actually ran away from the hive prior to the events of the game because she wanted to be an explorer. And she is reunited in this scene. And she's making like a pretty big deal about how she doesn't want to go back, but the queen bee is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, I think there's exactly one bee who made her leave. I'm pretty sure it was like almost entirely that one the one who sells you the house key.
Oh, really?
I don't know. That's what it seems like. Everybody else is nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Like I can't think of a single other bee who actually doesn't like her.
Well, maybe Malby, but she's more the pushy type, so...
I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, now we are in the honey factory, and we're locked in here.
Nice.
Because of some unfortunate circumstance at the power plant, and we're actually going to find out what that is later on.
Stop! Cuck, you're spoiling it. They don't know that yet.
Well, we're not gonna... We won't say what it is just yet. I mean...
Okay.
Wait, yeah, maybe there's something in the power plant. It's possible.
All we know is that there's a code 32.
Correct.
Oh, and now Leaf can control the bubble shield, so...
Yeah, I can now do it on command.
Although
Which can be used to get over these electric platforms.
you can skip it here. It saves exactly -5 seconds.
Yeah. And here we have another ice clip. This one is pretty small.
Wow.
Oh. Yep. Oh, take off hard mode as well.
Oh, yeah, Leaf heals to 1 HP, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's done. Freeze. Hard mode. I have that listed, I think, right before the D-boots are supposed to fight.
Okay. Just as long as you have a reminder. I just saw those moved really fast. And yeah, this allows us to skip the puzzle in this room. And now we have the honey factory itself. Now this area can actually be skipped, except it
Yeah, Calci,
can't
you want to
really
you want to explain
skipped.
BCS while I don't do it?
While you don't do it, yeah. So basically in this area, we're supposed to grab 3 card keys, and we saw one earlier, back when we needed to open it up to get into the area to get Bubble Shield. And now we need to get 3 of them to open up the lock on the door. But as it turns out, the lock
also this
on the
crank
door's
is
loading
broken.
zone. Yeah, so you can spin that crank while it's inside. Normally you have to like remove the cage, but don't you have to worry about that with that. But you can actually, but the loading zone actually exists behind the closed door for this thing where there are the 3 key cards you need to open it. So if you generate lag while being pushed by a block, you can actually sort of get inside of it for a frame and then get immediately pushed out. But if you get pushed inside far enough to where you touch the loading zone, you actually are able to get through. However, there's no block that can get close enough to the door to where you can ice clip it. But thanks to the lag and an enemy located conveniently outside of that location, you can still get pushed. You can cause lag and get pushed right up against the door. And if you're lucky enough and you time it right, you can get inside. But it is absurdly difficult, and it saves like about 3 minutes or so.
I think it saves more than that in this route because of like XP routing. It's also then it also then requires good RNG on the fight after that in order to not die. What is?
Got a sneaky shot. Yeah, this room is known as a cursed room for the very reason that it is cursed. And there's our second key card, and we need 1 more, and this last one is the longest one it takes to get.
This is the main reason B card skip actually saves a lot of time.
Yeah, this one in particular. Now, another thing I sort of want to mention is another potential strat called B-boop skip.
Yeah.
And that, as the name suggests, allows you to skip the B-boops. But unfortunately, that has never actually been done before. But if it does, it would be huge for both this category, assuming you don't do B-card skip, as well as in any percent glitchless and quite a few other categories. Because it's technically not a glitch, you just jump around on platforms on the very edge of them and throw the beamerang at the right time and rebound it.
Because for some reason,
confusing.
Because for some reason the yeah, you level up here. For some reason the electricity on the electricity on the electrified platforms actually doesn't reach all the way to the edge.
Yeah.
I also
so you
want
can
to
actually stand on the edge of them and still be fine.
I also want to point out V had 1 HP and I had to super block all 3 of the B-Boop's attacks.
Yo. Yeah, that B-Boost fight it's kind of slow because you don't have any TP, which is a little unfortunate. Yeah, you can still 2-turn it.
Even if you had TP, I don't think it would be much faster. You get it in 2 turns.
Yeah, true. Yeah, super block is a 4-frame window.
Some are also
But yeah.
a lot easier than others, though, because of visual cues. And one of them because of audio cues.
Yeah.
I decided to try super blocking midges blindfolded, or like, with my eyes closed the other day, and it just worked.
Yeah, we'll get to that later in the run. But there are definitely some super guards that are easier to time than others. But yeah, Beboop Skip has never actually been performed, although runner named Light has gotten really close to doing it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, these freezes are random. Each of these Obama Honeys have a 50% chance to freeze.
It's theoretically 1 in 8 to get all of them to freeze. I've never seen it happen.
Yeah, when that happens, it's really good, but it is pretty unlikely. And it's also a 1 in 8 that they don't freeze.
I guess that... I think this is supposed to be a 2-turn fight, but I don't know what happened. It's now a 3-turn, so...
Yeah, it's not a huge deal, though. Probably
That's
with
fine.
freezes or something that affect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that we're done the upper honey factory portion, now we can make it to the bottom part of factory. And by the way, B card skip would allow you to get right to this room as soon as you leave the room with the branch clip. Like, you'd be able to skip the B boops as well as getting the 2 other card keys.
Yeah. You actually skip all 3 if you want to. Because of the skip we do right here. But... yeah, the reason B-card skip is so dumb is that no one actually really knows how it works. So it just doesn't. I'm convinced it's a like 1-frame window that doesn't even always exist.
I would
and
not
is
be
also
surprised.
not necessarily at the same time every time. And you have to press the print screen button about a second before you actually want to have print screen be pressed because there's a delay.
Yeah, it is pretty weird. But I think the window where it does work definitely does shift. It's not always consistent. Yeah, normally there's a small mini-boss we have to do here, but we can actually skip it through the use of this, known as a Honey Nation skip.
Or alternatively, funny skip. Because it skips a funny
skip,
nation.
Yes.
The boss is called
a
a funny nation.
nation. The fight itself is pretty scary, which is why it's called a Funny Nation skip. Or why the boss itself, we coin it a Funny Nation, rather. That was too close to the wall. Thankfully, if you do fall out of bounds, you do get sent back to the latest respawn trigger. But unfortunately here, it's all the way back.
This is another one of the tricks that sometimes works first try and sometimes just doesn't want to.
Yeah, there are many setups to this. But the idea is the same, where you want to get it right up, where you have it a small gap between it and the wall. And this time the wall is just the edge of the... sort of like the front part where the camera would be.
So yeah, it looks like there's no wall here. So why can't you just go out? The answer is you can.
True.
There we go.
Nice.
be about right. Now we jump for a while.
Yeah, we need to get a pretty specific height.
Not specific, you just need to be really high up. That should be about right. There. It's not a specific height, you just need to be really high up.
Well, the less time you jump, the faster it is, because you don't jump as much. But yeah, for safety, you can just go all the way to the top. Because for some reason, there is actually, like, a limit to how high the ceiling goes, which I guess makes sense, but it's a little weird.
And I like to push these guys off the ledge so they can't come hit me. We have now rescued the Overseer. Now I have to wait for a respawn, so...
Yeah, because we never actually opened that door. Which holds yet another key card thing. But we skipped that thanks to a Honey Nation skip.
Now I have to heal. This loses like 20 seconds, but it's required for the next fight.
Yeah.
I
Similar to
also
the yellow
need
crystals, this
strong
fully heals.
start.
But it takes a while. Ah, yes, strong start.
HP goes on G. That works. This is the other fight in the run that can go very wrong.
Yeah.
I also
And
hate
it's
how
also
the
one
lights
that
are
uses
one set of
Hurricane a
lights.
lot.
I also hate how one set of lights is on a cycle of 3 and one's on a cycle of 4.
Wait, for what?
The lights on the machine in the background. There's 3 of one set and 4 of the other.
Oh, like the rectangle one says 4?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah. I guess I never pay attention to that, but yeah,
leaf.
they are
or leaf
different.
off. Okay. Hurricane assassin. Okay, that's fine. Spicy on B. And double hurricane. Also, if anything goes wrong, the route gets this boss exactly down to 0 health. So...
Yeah. I believe it's normally a 4 turn, right?
it's a 4 turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Leaf Blaze. Hurricane Tornado. So if we get this, this should be good. This works.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, that might be fine. Tornado, probably.
I guess. I don't know why that didn't kill. Yeah, that was weird. But luckily, it still worked. What did I do wrong?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe there's supposed to be like a heavy strike in there or something.
We don't have Heavy Strike yet. I don't think we get Heavy Strike until Broodmother. I mean, what's the trigger for getting Heavy Strike? I can't remember.
I believe it's like a level up thing.
I think we get it on Broodmother.
Yeah, I think you have it by then.
The only time we ever use it is on Ultimax. I might have forgotten to... I might have attacked instead of her Tornado Toss on turn 3? I thought I did, maybe not.
Yeah, it did work regardless.
Yeah, it was
Thankfully.
very sketchy though, because that the attack it did is
Yeah, that's the
worst
AoE.
attack it has. It's an AoE attack that does 6 damage in
Well, it
normal
depends
mode.
on the scenario, but yeah. Overall, it's like probably the scariest one.
It's also very annoying to block.
Yeah. And now we talk to the Bee Queen. And that will allow us to open up the quest where we get to find out more of what caused the honey factory to shut down. Which I guess I sort of spoiled earlier.
Now we have to go talk to the queen and hand in the artifacts. So yeah, we will finish chapter 3 and then chapter 2, I believe.
Yeah. The order in which you play these cutscenes depends on who you lead with.
Leaf is the fastest, because he stands in the back, so you can leave quicker.
Yeah.
So, as you might see here, we are now entering chapter 3.
But wait, didn't we complete chapter 3?
Yeah, chapter
That
3
seems kinda odd.
chapter 3 is just really short.
Yeah. Apparently so.
So yeah, this is chapter 3. I don't know why they decided to make it so short, but it's like a minute long.
And it's just one cutscene.
It's just one cutscene. You just talk to the queen. I guess it doesn't make much
And
sense. Why would you
now-
go back to the right? But yeah, we're in chapter 4 now.
Now we start chapter 4, yes.
I'm not. I think it's just random. I think the triggers might be at the same spot, and whichever one you trigger first is just random.
Yeah, it's possible too. But I'm
Because
pretty sure
I'm pretty sure I've
may have used
seen.
to be set.
I'm pretty sure I've seen 4 first and then 3.
Yeah,
When,
the order
when
thankfully
entering with
doesn't
Leaf.
really matter.
It doesn't
You
make a
need to
difference.
trigger both anyways.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. You need to trigger the one to end chapter 2, or else you'll soft lock later in the run. And then the one to start chapter 4 is needed, or else you won't be able to get dig, and you also won't be able to do the credits warp at the end.
Because there's a specific guy who only shows up. Or who,
Yeah. After you beat chapter 3.
this is Crazed Pibu, so, we're petting him too right here.
Yeah, you can't see it's a Pibu, but it
He
is in fact behind there.
He is called Crazed Pibu, so. And I'll cook both of these for safety. You don't have to cook those, but it makes the next fight significantly more consistent.
Yes. And the next fight can be sort of scary, although it's not too bad.
So, I feel like you kind of didn't get very much value for the Pibu, so here, you get a different bug, too. I got
So many
kept the bed
bugs.
bug. So now we have the rusty key, which is actually just a sword. Don't ask me how it opens the lock.
Yeah, it apparently does.
This guy is the guy we'll be using to, do stuff later.
Yes, but for now, we're just going to use him to teleport back to the start of Lost Sands, which we never actually saw. Initially, when we entered Lost Sands, it was through Golden Settlement.
That is not the
did
key.
it in the reverse order.
Unfortunately, your explorer's permit does not open the door.
Live and learn. Yeah, now we're going to grab this key, which we don't actually end up using later on, but we need to go to this area to get an important ability.
This cutscene right here gives you dig.
Yes.
So now we can just go underground. And this bandit right here is skippable, but sometimes it just doesn't work.
Hey, nice. That is pretty tight.
It's a lot less bad with dash, but we don't have dash.
Yeah. There are, like, fast strats for all these rooms if you have dash, but without it, it's only the first room where you have it.
These guys are not very good at seeing things.
But yeah, this is normally what you're supposed to do at the start of Chapter 4, so we're following the rules for a bit, but now we're gonna break them. Because once we got our ability, we just need to get our stuff that was stolen from the bandits, and now we just get out of here, because we don't need anything else.
Why would we, fight the bandits? They just stole our stuff, we want it back.
Exactly.
You don't have any other reason to fight them. Oh look, we're back here.
Hey, I recognize this place. And yeah, now that we're prepared with Dig, we can go and perform a huge skip to allow us to skip the majority of Chapter 4.
Oh, I did. I was like, did I heal? I did, okay.
Are you
is...
supposed to go to Gold
Where am I
Settlement?
going?
I thought you were going to go on Settlement.
I am!
You are now, just a small detour.
But
yes.
yeah, we're going back here.
Yeah, and now we're gonna fight the thing that's been causing the power plant. But first we need to take on the quest. And this only appears after we talk to the bee in the Bee Kingdom.
The bee.
Which is why we did that.
The one singular bee.
The queen bee, yes.
This fight is honestly not as hard in this category as in most.
Well, categories don't even do this fight, but yeah.
Well, true, but
It
like,
is
the ones that do, it's
optional.
usually harder than this.
Yeah, it's optional, but we need to beat it so that way we can get access to the next area.
You're not supposed to be able to beat this. Well, you can beat this whenever, but you're not supposed to be able to do anything from here. But,
Yeah.
we don't care about that, so... Hopefully this thing doesn't spawn any midges. Nope. The midges, though, are, I'm pretty sure, the easiest thing to block in the game.
Yeah, I would not even be surprised if that was, like, actually the case. I mean, I guess it's opinion-based, but there are so many things that allow the guard to be easy to time. But there's a 25% chance that you get a midge summon, I believe. And they're pretty slow because of all the animations they have linked to them.
They, if you ever attack Broodmother, it attacks you. Is the main thing.
Yes.
That attack isn't easy to block, but the one they usually do is. No, it's a Glaze Honey here. Wow.
Dang. Yeah, thankfully the maximum that you can have at the same time is only 2.
Spicy berry. Do I spicy berry? And yeah, I do. Okay.
Thankfully, V's at a very comfortable amount of HP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is actually kind of surprising, because the front character is more likely to be targeted than the back ones.
She has been targeted more. Yeah, the midges are also a lot easier to target when they're in the, or to block when they're in the back. Because they're moving faster. This should kill. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we still have to deal with the midges. But thankfully, if something goes wrong, we do have a weapon from Chapter 2, which is the hard seed that Vigu drops, which has a random chance of happening if you get an attack.
I'm gonna use that.
Yeah.
Because it's funny. This does 3, so... That can hit flying enemies, so that just works. If you hit them
damage
once with V, then that just works. You can do that even if V dies.
Yeah, it's a nice backup strat. But anyway, now we have the major skip that allows us to go from the start of Chapter
It's hitting
4
this crank right here.
to getting to the end of Chapter 5.
That crank faces the camera.
Yeah, it like rotates towards it for some reason.
Yeah, but you can lag clip the boomerang through that and skip all the way to Chapter 5. You can hit this one through the wall, but it's not consistent.
Yeah. And this is also the reason why we got dig. Because we're gonna need that. Yes, heal with that. That's easy to forget.
I have done that before. I lost, I think, 10 minutes on Ultimax, which isn't the last boss. Further back, I think. For some reason, this wall just doesn't like me.
I think it likes anybody.
There we go.
Nice.
You're supposed to do a puzzle, but that just skips the whole room.
Yeah, it does take like a while to do like the puzzle, but that strat is also like a really difficult alternative, which wasn't the case before. Before it used to not be too bad, but now it is. This is like the only room where we actually need dig. I believe there are like some theories to skip it, but
this room and the first room, I believe, are the only ones. What?
Yep.
He can see you from there?
Oh, right, yeah, the first room also needs it.
The first room, I think you can skip the second room with good timing.
Yeah, with, like, the lag, probably. Yeah, it is a little unfortunate we need to grab it for such a small thing.
She did not walk in the room, she just slid. That's too far.
Oh, you're actually going for this.
Well,
this
yeah.
strat is pretty tough. It's sort of like a Honey Nation skip where you need to get it on the very edge of it with a small gap. Except there's such a small time period. Or not time period, but like a small area where you can do it from. So anyway, now we need to enter the vent. Which actually kind of reminds me of a certain video game. I'm trying to think of which one. What is it? Where you need to enter the vent, and where you become sus.
So while Cal goes off on a tangent, this is the next boss.
I believe it's called Among Us.
It's called Ultimax.
You sure it's not the Pokemon Among Us?
Maybe.
The Pokemon Among Us.
A moon.
I still have, strong start on Kabu. This might work.
Oh, that barely hit.
Yeah, it did. I still have strong start on Kabu, so this won't do as much damage, but you're supposed to switch it to someone else.
Oh, right.
But
yeah, it's easy to forget that, but it's not a huge deal, because this fight doesn't really hit hard.
yeah, it's not a big deal. It just takes a couple extra turns. I think Kabu's still going to be stronger with a heavy strike. Yeah. So he's down to 13. That attack is unblockable. You can't tell me otherwise.
It certainly looks weird, but I mean, it's a funny attack. That's one of the things where, like, the blocks, even though the window's the same, there aren't as many cues for it.
Wow.
Yo, you got one, let's go.
I don't believe I've ever normal blocked that attack, though.
Either super guard or just miss.
Yeah. So we're getting a bit close to the estimate. I might have to call this run short. So might
I
just
think this is well ahead of the estimate.
we might just not get to. We still have what 2 chapters to do?
Well, 2 chapters in like 15, 16 minutes. I don't think that's too bad. Although, yeah. There are like quite a few cutscenes and quite a few things, so yeah, maybe we'll have to call it short.
Oh,
Which is a little unfortunate. But we may end up having to skip the 2 chapters.
we're still decently ahead, so I think you have an extra 10-15 minutes.
I might. Okay. So there's another cutscene here. You have to do this to get the ant compass, which is important for some stuff.
And if I could also add a donation to that.
Sure.
We have $57.69, nice, from Evansfight, saying shoutouts to Spirialis, yay! And that meets our incentive to upgrade Mad Red Dead to hard mode. So the next run will be on hard mode, and we will get to see more rhythm action.
It's
after
barely
we
even a
finish
rhythm game on
Fables, of
normal
course.
mode.
Yeah, that's what he said. So I'm excited. But let's get back to Bug Fables now first.
Should I save?
I'd recommend saving.
I mean, I can rebuy the bedbug.
Do you have enough berries? I know you like lost quite a few.
I have 63.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess you get a lot from Broodmother.
I'll do it once. Actually, no, I haven't saved in like. I'll save. You can soft lock and
Right. That's like pretty unlikely, but
it's unlikely, but it does
Sorry.
happen. So I just opened up the menu while talking to that guy. And now we can use the bedbug.
nice.
Walk over here. Go down, talk to this guy.
That's the weird thing that happens sometimes. Where you don't get the warp.
I will go rebuy it because I think that's faster than reloading the save.
Yeah, probably.
Have to pet it again. first try again.
Nah.
So yeah, I think we're gonna have to just skip to the credits. Don't
Yeah,
have
it's
enough
a bit
time.
unfortunate. But yeah, this skips chapters 6 and 7.
So you can warp to a debug room, and from there you can walk around a sign, talk to an NPC who can warp you to any map in the game, which includes the one right before the credits.
Yeah.
So time is going to come up when the screen fades to white and then to black. Right here, and time. So that's
GG.
what was my time on the marathon? I have live split up, but oh,
1:34:51, I think.
that is, yeah, that's about a second different from what I have.
1 hour 34:52.
So that my PB was a 1:38. So
Small
that's-
PB.
That's a 4-minute PB.
It's just a small PB.
Not bad. Not
Although to be
bad.
fair, my sum of best is 123. So
Huge. Let's go.
okay, the end.
The end.
Wait. Before we have one more Peeboo. Peeboo.
Hey, boo.
Hey, bear. Gotta pet it. Very important. Well, there you go. That was Buck Fables. Thank you so much, Gnommis and Kirill, I think. Yep. You want to let us know where we can find you or some other things you want to add?
I don't know. There's a Bug Fable speedrun Discord that exists.
Sounds like
Yeah.
the perfect place to visit if you want to find out more about Buck Fables and speedrunning it.
Yeah, it's a great community, really chill place, and everyone is super welcoming there.
All right, sweet. Thank you so much for showing this game. I
Yeah.
definitely need to play it at some point.
It's good.